Good morning, my loves. I am off a coaching call for which I've been reminded that we do all things out of either love or fear. Now, this particular client has problems with speaking, in being voiced, as in the beliefs and things that they are passionate about being voiced and heard. And where this comes into place is that at some point in time, it has been coded for them that speaking my truth and my beliefs is not safe. Now, for some of us, like myself, I can speak, I can jump on, I can talk to you, I can cold call or cold canvas a conversation about things, right? Because for my system and my beliefs, it is safe for me to be heard. It is safe for me to speak my truth. It is safe for me to voice. And sure, that's not always been the truth for me, but sometimes when it comes to wanting to advance in our careers or just show up on a Zoom call with more than 6 people, which is what was alive for this client, there are things within our system that make us close down. So this is where our nervous system in our body has a funny reaction. And look, it's often not even logical. The reaction that we get doesn't make sense to the logical mind. And as they said, I am confident in myself. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I know this stuff. This is not something that I'm speaking about. I've never had to talk about before. This is my entire life's work, and this is my career. And it's basically reading it out of a textbook. I know it to be true. But when push comes to shove, what is happening is there's something happening in the body that is responding out of fear. And it is our nervous system that has coded experiences as a trauma. And this is where the book, The Body Keeps the Score. If you haven't read it, please go and pick it up. Because within our body and within our system, we have had experiences coded and imprinted where something has happened as an outcome, which has been an undesirable outcome. And our system's coded that, or wired and fired together a pattern whereby that experience is undesired and we have a negative emotional or bodily experience. So for this client, again, this shows up as feeling a little bit anxious and like the throat closing up, the chest closing up. The voice is otherwise quite expressive for them, but then the voice becomes really meek and quiet and like really concerned and closed down. Now, this is a foreign thing for them. This is not something that happens in the family or at the cafe. Like, this person is genuinely quite a bubbly, outgoing, loud, if you will, person. But when it comes to speaking about something that is valuable and something that's actually not funny, so for them, they have no problem standing up and being comical. But when it comes to valuable content that's serious, something closes down. So through the session, what we spoke about was where in the past have there been experiences whereby the system or experience has coded being entertaining or being funny as lovable, acceptable, or rewarded, which, as we know, like our beliefs and our body develops the most between 0 and 7. By 35 years old, 90% of how we react and what we do is actually automated. So those early years, obviously for this client, they were rewarded and loved for being funny and for being outgoing or positive. But now, as an adult, it comes to speaking about things within work that are serious, or perhaps in this new leg of their career, they want to talk about mental health. And what comes up and is alive is a lack of trust. Now, this is not something that is an ongoing theme for them where they do not trust themselves. When we dive into the layers and the experiences of this, and what comes up in the coding of the body and the somatics, is that perhaps once upon a time, they were told that what you have to say is not to be trusted. And that experience is something that's in the coded system. It's not like, as they said, they're like, that doesn't make sense though. And it's like, well, no. What happens and what we believe to be unsafe between 0 and 7, or say 3, for example, a 3-year-old toddler, what we believe to be safe or not now as an adult in our 30s or 40s or 50s is very different to what we believe to be unsafe at 3. So remember, what we coded to be safe or not has been decided by a toddler. And that means that that toddler is potentially running the outcome of your life now as an adult, which is kind of a illogical thought perhaps. But at the same time, this is what happens when our body and our nervous system fires and wires together an experience, which in textbooks might say as a trauma. Like, this is to be true for veterans of war, people with PTSD, people who have ongoing anxiety or concerns. Often, very often, something has been wired and fired together in the nervous system of the body, not on the conscious level of the mind, but on a subconscious, illogical level. So this is the work where, if we actually look at our layers and look at our programming and look at our codes, our beliefs and patterns, these things literally hold us back in our life, in our desires, and actually believing that what we want to have in our life is available to us. Because perhaps once upon a time, it was coded as unavailable to us and not safe for us to experience. If this is something that you're feeling to be true, or you're watching this on replay, please comment if you're feeling in your body something right now. It might be something really tiny, like a tiny, tiny sensation or feeling in your stomach or in your lower belly or even in your neck. So often, if we're people pleasers, when we feel things in our neck, like a neck pressure or a neck tightness that's just unrelenting and just comes and is always there, that comes often from a people pleaser sense. That's the body and the somatics of the body feeling that pressure and that tension and that heaviness and load. So that's just a very basic example of how for some people it can show up. But team, I really want you to remember here that your body is always speaking to you. Your body is always keeping the score of past experiences. And when we learn to look at what we're making it mean, because we are meaning-making machines. We make so many things mean something about us. It's absolutely crazy when we think about what we make things mean, or what a toddler has made something mean about us, which is not true of us as an adult. These become limits in our reality. These literally create walls and blockages in how we show up. We want our lives, our work to be more fluid and easy, or you want to call in like people to your world that are a match for how you want to be and who you want to be. But all of that starts within you. And all of it will always come down to if the decision and the process on a subconscious level is being driven by because of a fear or because of a true deep sense of love. Do you do the job you do because you fear not having enough money and not finding another job that will pay you the same? Or do you do your work because you absolutely freaking love what you do in every cell of your body, and you would do it if you were not even paid because that's how much you love it? That's a super powerful example as to how we do all things, either from like lay it down place of fear or a worry or a concern, or if we're doing something, choosing that relationship, choosing to exercise or not, choosing what you eat. Are you doing that because you absolutely fucking love the person, or because you're scared you're not going to find anyone else? Are you doing something because like you're exercising because you hate your body and you want it to be different? because you love feeling energized, alive, and strong? Are you choosing the foods that you eat because you love how your body's energy, again, digestive system, your skin, all those things you love feeling and the experiencing the glow? Or are you eating nothing or skipping pleasurable foods because you're scared of what might happen if you do eat it and you hate what happens when you eat it? Our wiring is all down to love or fear, and it's so important to start to look at yourself, like deeply become so self-aware and so conscious of how and why you're choosing to do the things you do, that you realize what your innate motivators are and what your innate drive is. Are you motivated for love or for fear? Because one of them is going to magnetize everything that you want and draw in anything that you desire. And the other, that fear, that lack, that scarcity, is going to repel all the things that you really want. And you're not going to show up and be able to do things like speaking if you're scared. If a part of your system, so not a logical part, if a part of your system is literally so freaking scared of what is going to happen or what they're going to think of you or what you're going to make it mean. I hope that offers you some insight to reflect on what your primary motivators are today, and to actually choose love over fear every time. Choose to feel the love behind your actions, to choose loving being of service. That is where our power lies. If you've enjoyed this live, please tell me what your take-home message is, or if it resonated. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to do some one-on-one work or coaching together, my doors are open now. Hope you have a great day.